Hey there, everybody. It's good to see some people here. Hey, Aiden Florence, Scout Waffle, good to see you again. Crammel, Chaos Wolf, good to see you all back. I'm looking a bit different. This model is pretty much the exact same model as my old model. I just changed some of the colors around, but for some reason it made my lower lip look really weird, and I don't know how to fix it. It doesn't look like that in the studio that I made the avatar in. It only looks like that in the studio that I use for facial capture. So I'm gonna be getting new face capture software, I think, because this should also be way more emotive than it is. It doesn't exactly match up to what my face is doing. Anyway, I'm gonna be going through the game one more time without skipping, just to refresh my memory. September 4th. Spooky month, yeah. Dang it, I look like a dark elf. I was hoping that I would look more like a space alien with the blue skin and the white hair. Oh well, it's fine. I'll take it. Year 21M 2023 BC. Why am I blue? Good question. Anyway, amid the arid heat of the morning sun of Volcadera Bluffs, I can't help but miss living in more temperate weather of the Midwest. Summer sleeves are in style this year. That jacket's aroma block better be right. This suede thing is killing me. Well, at least it's guaranteed to start getting chillier in a few weeks. Besides, I'm sure to make an impression with this. Abercrombie and Flint is all the rage these days. I love the puns so much. I sigh and lean back in the hard plastic seating of the metro. Fire my beautician. I'm my own beautician. I don't know if I can fire myself, but I may need to. I'm on my way to my first day in a new school. Ordinarily, I'd just be glued to my phone on the trip, but there's just too much on my mind right now. I am indeed blue, dabba-dee-dabba-da. My folks' sitch requires us to move frequently, which gives me little time to fit in. Much like how a rolling stone gathers no moss, I could never make a friend that I'd keep longer than a year. Just a lot of promises to keep in touch that petered off within months. Admittedly, it's my fault in the end. But that's all going to change, starting today. I'm going into senior year now. It's my very last chance to prepare for the world ahead. Oh, hey Andrew Parsons. I was watching this other PNG or VTuber named Megan's playthrough of this game, and of Nightmare in the comments said that Volcadera is based on California, which explains a lot, honestly, as someone who lives there. Luckily for me, the cards are stacked in my favor. You think it's supposed to be... Yeah, it's somewhere on the west coast, at the very least. I feel around my backpack for my DSLR, till my fingers can absent-mindedly fiddle with the mode dial. St. Hammond High School is extremely well known for their artist's curriculum. In other words, I'll be surrounded by people that share my interests. Even if it's a bit of a ride away. Speaking of rides, I was hoping that my parents could drive me there today. By the time I was up, though, they already left for work. No big deal. I like the hustle and bustle of public transportation. I imagine I'm going to have to get used to this anyway. As time passes, my mind wanders to memories of previous schools. Sacramento Valley. Did live in San Diego area as a little kid. Oh yeah, cool. I'm like closer to the Central Valley. They all sucked. Hey, I need to make the most of the situation I'm in, not get all sad like this. I need to do something, like... Take a selfie with the hobo next to me. I won't get stabbed. Get up and breathe in that fresh #city air. Remain seated and do nothing. Wuss. I'm interrupted by the ding of the terminal board, and the car gradually starts coming to a stop. I step off of the metro, heading out of the station as I follow a few other students heading towards the school. Oddly enough, I'm only seeing dinosaur students, not another human to be seen anywhere. Must be one of those dino-heavy regions. There's a lot of greenery here as well. You'd almost forget how close we are to a major city. The pathway leads to a stone bridge that goes over a small creek. As I walk across, I notice that other students meet in pairs and walk with each other. If I had some lines, I'd look like a Lombax. I'm not a furry, though. I just happen to play a lot of games with furry main characters because furries are really good at making shit. The air begins to fill with the sounds of laughter and stories of how their summer break went. Ah, there it is. The school peeks out over the trees ahead of me, as though inspecting and welcoming me inside. St. Hammond High, my new home away from home for the next year. I stop to take a deep breath. The air here is crisp, reminding me of an old campground I went to back in elementary school. I'm not a furry, I'm an Elder Scrolls. Is it controversial if I say that I actually don't particularly care for the Elder Scrolls series? On the one hand, I'm handed an opportunity to make something of myself. I'm apprehensive, but hopeful. It's my last shot at this. There's no going back. I take my first step onwards. Here we go again. Students mill about the front yard. This school is known for its heavily prioritized art programs. Over 2/3 of the graduates end up pursuing a career in the arts, and while half of them regret it from what I've read, there's still plenty that made it, right? It's also the management's claim to fame, with the facade on the front entrance being dominated by a vibrant mural. I got a good feeling about this place. A few students eyeball me as I continue walking in. Some friends whisper to each other. I just knew this jacket would pay off. There's certainly a level of particular tastes. I think you need to enjoy Elder Scrolls as someone who likes Western RPGs. Long story short, you can get better everything it does elsewhere. Yeah, I tend to prefer JRPGs. I like some aspects of Elder Scrolls, but I don't know. There's just... That's true, it is super long. The front doors are propped wide open, and I already feel the cool breeze inviting me in. Inside, it's a familiar yet brand new sight. I hadn't mentioned it yet, but this school is also unique for its student body. It's composed almost entirely of dinosaurs, all manner of saurian herbivores and otherwise. Scales, feathers, tails, is that a teether? Wings, talons, and webbed hands. Not to even mention the colors. All vibrant enough to challenge the bright murals on the school outside. Dozens of students march about, reconnecting with past friends and meeting new ones. Also, these two are clearly Dexter and Mandark. I think that's a fun Easter egg. Some anxiously glance at their schedules, checking every door as though they were numbered at random. You remember feeling embarrassed playing this because the characters look like furries? Yeah, I mean, if you're not particularly into it, then it does seem kind of weird at first, but I just look at them as weird-looking people. And that makes it less cringe, in my opinion. I probably shouldn't be standing here staring. Whoa, is that a human? Whoa. I'm soon surrounded and overrun by a crowd of neon-colored teenagers. Clearly, my jacket is working like a charm. Wow, he's like a life-size... Hey, new kid. Is this what it's like to be popular? I really wasn't expecting it to happen this quickly. A few students are taking pictures with their phones. I even see some with sketchbooks and pens in hand, rapidly scribbling on pages. Wow, a human! Are you like a foreign exchange student? In the chaos, I feel new people touch my hands. Whoa, human skin feels weird. Jeez, a bit uncalled for. Actually, yeah, that's... When I went to my new middle school for the first time, like, almost over 10 years, well over 10 years ago now, I had curly hair, and that wasn't very common. So the first thing that happened to me was somebody came up to me and asked me if they could touch my hair. And I said, why? And then they laughed and ran away, and that's why I'm not a very social person. I don't get people. I don't get them. Jeez, a bit uncalled for. As flattering as this attention is, ask them to back off a bit. Oh, it's not that bad. You used Khajiit because they have night vision and also they are good at stealing. There's so much happening. I honestly did always sort of think that Snoot and Wani took place in SoCal, just something about the look of it all does make me scratch my head over the cold weather mentioned later, though. Well, he calls it a marine layer, so I think they're near the coast, and if you live really near to the coast, then it does get pretty cold. Turn the snoots off. I prefer the game over it. Living Tomb mentioned. You got curly hair, Tron. I do. Indeed I do. And I don't want to be a party pooper. A few more people shout at me to get my attention. Hey, could you look over here for a side profile? Oh man, yeah, this will be good reference material. Wait, I need to get a better look at his skin texture. Once again, I find myself frozen, only muttering quietly as I hastily try to follow their instructions. Eventually, all the Saurians take their photos and talk themselves out before dispersing back to their own friend groups. By the time I recover from the shock of the situation, the last one breaks off and I find myself seemingly all alone again. Oh, that was my chance to socialize. I blew it. You're a human, right? A Triceratops girl leans forward, scanning me up and down. This is it. Time for me to seal the deal and get a new friend. Yeah. Close enough. Hey, can I, get a selfie with you? It'd be great for one of my classes. Yeah, definitely. She puts an arm around my back for a shoulder hug while she poses dramatically. Maybe a bit too friendly? Big smile now. She takes a picture and checks it enthusiastically. So, I'm Inko. Huh? Oh, cool. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. Oh. What's the photo for, by the way? She pauses, aloofly chewing some gum. My fashion design class. That jacket is ballin'. Thanks for the pic, hun. Well, I feel my shoulders sag as I take in the now sparse hallway around me. That must have been my 15 minutes of fame. I don't think it even lasted 15 minutes. But there's no way that I've already blown it. I try to shake away the negative thoughts, focus on the positive. For a brief moment, I was the talk of the school. Yeah. Click, click, click. The familiar sound draws my attention. I know what that is. At the end of the hall, there's someone kneeling, and with one of the latest camera models, if I'm not mistaken. Hey. The guy flinches. I flinch, too. I hadn't meant to shout at him. The few students around me don't bat an eye at it, though. I forgot that they animated the scene of him standing up. I skipped over so much of this in subsequent playthroughs. Sorry about the yell. No, it's fine. I managed to get the shot that I wanted. The bespectacled boy, I think he's a parasaur, double-checks the camera's display and smiles. Yep, perfect. This'll be a fine print for the yearbook. Can I see? His grin seems to widen at my interest. Of course, here. He turns the display towards me, showing me a shot of the hallway, and me as the focal point. Pretty good, right? I look a little closer and notice that I think it's a little out of focus. And dark. What do you have your f-stop set at? Ah, shit. He stops and glances up at me, pleasantly surprised to get a real answer. Yeah, I'm a bit of a photographer myself. I'm taking it as an elective, too. With Mr. Iadakan? Thinking back to my memorized class schedule, the name does sound familiar. Yep. Oh, snap, cool. We'll be classmates. Mr. Iadakan's busy, so he just teaches it for one period. Oh my god, he only teaches one period of school because he's busy. Because he's dealing with health problems. The foreshadowing is crazy. He offers his hand out for a handshake. I'm Ben. Inko. Friend achieved. I'm actually new here. Kinda figured, being the only human student this year and all. The St. Hammond isn't one of the more popular schools, but the staff put a lot of efforts into the arts programs. Even the campus itself is designed like a living art piece, so if you ever need help... From the pause, I'm guessing he's offering some help. Kiara is a triceratops with no horns, so a protoceratops? Maybe. I'm not too up to scratch on all the specific types of dinosaur, but I know there's ones that look like triceratops, but technically aren't. I wouldn't say no to a tour. A tour, you say? Well, I'm only going back to the principal's office, but I could point out some neat stuff along the way. He raises an eyebrow to himself, in contemplation. Might be a good idea to meet the principal, too. He waves for me to follow him. Turns out he wasn't just an avid photographer like me. An avid photographer like me, but also the school council president. And one of his priorities was taking photos for the school's yearbook for the first day page. When you were playing this game, your headcanon pronunciation of Eadakan's name was Eadakan? Yeah, that would make more sense than what I'm saying, but apparently it's a reference to an anime character, and it's just that character's name spelled backwards, so I don't think there's really a correct way to pronounce it, so yours is just as valid. Every few minutes, we'd pause so Ben could take a couple of shots, mainly of the students walking with each other. And while I would watch, I had considered helping him in some way. I mean, that camera looks amazing, and then there's all his extra lenses in the bag. I can feel the absolute elation to finally know someone that's into photography. And I really want to broach it, but Ben fills the air between us, talking more about the school. Which is why we still go by the Feathertails, even though I think it's a tad distasteful. Dang, you're pretty good at this. Do you give these tours to all the new students? Heh, not really, although it is something that I've thought about a lot. Oh, hold that thought. Hey, Lunara! I heard a rumor that this character was originally going to be trans, but they decided not to go with that. I think that would have been neat, but whatever, I'm sure they had their reasons. Ben goes to greet a student, putting up some intricate wall banners. Oh, hey, Ben. You have a good summer vacation? I did. Great work on the decorations. They look even better than last year's. Can you call Kiara I mean, yeah. I don't like that joke, honestly. It feels too real to an actual slur. Aw, thank you. What's all this for? She steps aside so I can fully view the banner that she just finished with. The Cultural Arts Club. We meet every Thursday after school and look at antique artwork. She'd initially looked past me to talk with Ben, but she gasps when she realizes. Hey, you're a human, right? Oh, that's a silly question. You should totally join. I just love human culture. There's this amazing set of ancient masks at my place from ancient Europe. I just adore them. Wow, that's impressive. I think you'd make a good curator. You know what? I probably would. After that club display during Spirit Week last year, I gotta agree. We spent weeks studying that tribe, and weeks more practicing those dances. We also study and paint with those styles. It's like we're learning the techniques of the old masters. Hopefully soon we can even get into sculpting, like those old Venus statues. We plan on getting one to look at sometime this year. What do you think? It'd be great if you could come. Hey, that'd be neat. What do you say, Inko? Maybe. I do love culture. The creator of Lunara made it difficult working with the dev team is what you heard? Yeah, that makes sense. I heard the same thing happened with the creator of Mia, and that's why she ended up being a more one-dimensional villain instead of, like, someone more three-dimensional. With Mia, I was under the impression that she was putting forward, like, a lot of facades because she just doesn't actually want to be known by people or whatever. But that ends up being mostly not relevant because her character development isn't a thing that exists as of this point. Maybe they'll release bonus chapters, maybe not. Oh, that's great. Oh, listen, we have this old chieftain's dress we've had for ages. We just have to see what it looks like on the real thing. I'll think about it. No way. I'd sooner endure a second Impact event than wear something like that. Well, hey, nice to catch up, Lunara. We've got places to be. Take care. Bye! She waves us off, and Ben continues leading me to the principal's office. Hey, Ben. Oh, hey, Michael. Listen, I can't talk right now, but I'd love to catch up later, yeah? I'm floored. This guy seems to know just about everyone in school as much as they know him. Talk about being on top of things. He points out a few more minor landmarks in the school and stops to greet a number of students happy to see him after the summer break. Man, sorry for having to stop so much. No way, I think it's cool that you know everyone. If only it could be cool without making us late. He notices a few more noteworthy landmarks, eventually leading me to its biggest draw. I already knew that this place was known for fine art, but wow. Just outside the administrative offices, the hallway is filled with wonderful pieces of work. Paintings line the walls, with name placards beneath, detailing who the artists were. Lunara totally doesn't have a thing for humans. Lunara collating Europeans and humans together suggests that the sapient dinos are and were natives of Snoot America. They were, I think. They were actually mostly raptors, but that's what some of the lore seems to imply. Which is why Ben mentioned the team still going by the Feathertails, even though that's technically offensive. I think that might be an analog to the real-life football team, the Redskins. Oh no! Am I lagging? Ah. I'm not sure how I... Let me see. Yeah, my computer is pretty hot. It hasn't even been an hour yet, though. I can't end stream yet. I'll just have to keep trucking. All created by alumni and attendant students of the school. And this is the gala. All of these pieces have been featured in all kinds of articles and presentations. Whoa. I know, right? One moment. Ben turns to the nearest door and gives it a polite knock. I won't be using this PC for much longer, hopefully. Who is it? It's me, Principal Scalar. An Oviraptor, no older than her mid-30s, exits the room, holding a steaming mug and sporting a tired smile. Good morning, Benjamin. Good morning. Inko, this is our esteemed principal. Good morning, ma'am. Her eyes shoot wide, mid-sip of her coffee. Oh, I hadn't noticed. You would be Mr. Ganito, yes? Yes? How wonderful. Gone is the exhaustion of her face, instead replaced with a very wide smile. I'm so happy that you've chosen our school for your last year, Mr. Nitu. Ben, be sure to give him a thorough St. Hammond welcome, okay? I already was. If you ever need any assistance, my office is always open, Mr. Netu. Not to mention, the student council is also available for help. Isn't that right, Ben? Yes, Principal Scalar. Her cat mug changes with her expression? I haven't actually noticed that. I gotta check. Snoot world building is both fun and a fool's errand. Logically, we shouldn't waste time trying to figure out the universe of a dating sim, but we nerds got a nerd. True. Like, whenever I find something that I like, the first thing that I do is learn everything that I can about it. Thank you, Principal Scalar. Oh, and Ben, a moment, please. But... The Parasaur is dragged into the office, leaving me alone in the school gala. Oh, Crammel, you have the same problem, even though Wani is just a visual novel, it needs a powerful computer. Yeah, it doesn't help that I have a full CG model running on top of it, and also streaming software. You would think it wouldn't take up so much processing power, though. Whatever they're saying, I can't hear over the ambient noise of the student body. Either way, it's probably not something I'm meant to hear. I move a few feet away, out of earshot of the discussion inside. On the wall beside me is a framed panoramic landscape of the city, painted by hand. I was thinking about making this one the background, but that would involve going and finding a PNG of it. Wow, I could practically use this thing as a map with how detailed it is. No wonder it's hanging up so predominantly by the principal's office. The gentle brushstrokes, the vibrant colors, the evening sun bouncing off each of the windows and the majestic scarlet sky enveloping the horizon. All of which combine together to give it a dreamscape feeling, like it's an idealized version of the city. It's beautiful. I've never been a big admirer of paintings, but I can't deny that it's a masterpiece. Only a teacher could have been able to express the scenic beauty of the city with this level of skill and passion. I withdraw my Cave-On Stone 60 from my bag, and with the compact lens I keep, I can barely fit the entirety of the painting in frame with a shot. Checking the copy on my display, I realize I left out the title and the artist of the piece. The tag says, Dreamscape, Artist O. Halford, 9th grade. First place, 201M 2020. A freshman did this. Jeez. Now that I look at the rest of the paintings, this is insane. It's all so much better than what I've made. Almost all of the pieces are beautifully drawn. Acrylic, charcoal, pastel, and yet not even one photo. Hey Inko, I'm back. I'm a senior. How on earth am I meant to even start measuring up here? Inko? What's that sound? Oh, hell yeah, animation time. Ben nudges me back with the back of his hand as the commotion gets closer. Hey, watch it, jackass! Slow your roll, Leatherface! My leg! I watch as the, perpetrator, aggressor, aggregator, aggregator, finally rounds the corner and comes barreling down the hallway, speeding right towards us. My instincts kick in, and I stumble to the side to avoid the oncoming collision. For just a split second, I get a good look at my assailant. And that's how I met your mother. More powerful computer plays game. HAL 9000. Why are you trying to hug a gator, Dave? Green scales, messy hair, and a faded purple hoodie. She propels herself forward with dexterous hands, spinning the large wheels on her. I only now notice that she's in a wheelchair. I didn't even know you could go that fast in one of those. She glances my way, and her pupils lock onto me. Her gray and gold eyes are marred by bags, like she hasn't slept in days. The girl's entire presence is ghost-like. And that expression, it's like she's looking straight through me. I'm sure she barely registers my existence, but I don't think I'll ever forget that face. Just as fast as she came, however, she's gone. As she leaves, I feel like a weight is lifted from my shoulders. At least until I trip directly into a glass case behind me. Oof. Hey, watch it. Whoops. The parasaur's hand roves over the display case carefully, his eyes filled with worry. You looking for something? Cracks? Usually when another student falls into them, there's some kind of crack or a scratch. I guess it's just a dino thing. You humans are lucky you don't gotta sweat over this kind of stuff. That happen often? Often enough to drain school funds and repairs. Oh yeah, like imagine how much of the school's funds would be drained if someone hypothetically took an axe and decided to smash that entire display case. Wouldn't that be expensive? My cabbages. Inko is made of glass. Well, I haven't seen him survive any plummets down staircases like Anon did, so yeah, he probably is. His glasses are tied to his life force. If the last pair breaks, then he dies. Well, not to brag, but I make do. A vibrato chime echoes through the now empty hall. I freeze. Tardy on the first day? Huh, whoops. Sorry to run on like that, but you should get going to your first class. Won't I need a tardy slip or something? Nah, it's the first day. Teachers are lenient. I'm fine either way, since, you know... one of the benefits of being class prez. What's your first period? Physical education. You'll be fine. Gymnasium's down that-a-way. Don't, keep him waiting too long. I need to get going, too. Keep who waiting? I gotta go, bye! Whoa, he walks fast when he has somewhere to be. That reaction doesn't exactly instill confidence in me. Brody, why would you imagine that? Are you okay? Do you need to talk to somebody? That's really sad, though, but also too abstract to be taken seriously. Anyway, I follow Ben's directions towards the school gymnasium. After all the earlier commotion, it's the first quiet moment to myself. I might as well take it to finally sort my thoughts. Let's see, what do I think of this place so far? It's certainly livelier than any of the other schools that I've been to. Ever since I've stepped foot in here, everything has been so lively and everyone seems so exuberant. It makes me feel a little out of my depth since I'm so used to the opposite. Here, people like that girl earlier are eager to share their hobbies almost without being prompted. Everywhere else I've been, people just kept to themselves, like they're only there because they have to be. It hits me. This school's art program attracts people. The students here don't have to be here. They're choosing to be here. That's why it's so active. Well, alright. What can I do with this information? It means I can probably be friends with anyone I want, right? Weird to say, but with everyone here sort of working with each other, there's bound to be an insane level of camaraderie, too. Maybe I won't even have to try. I'm almost at the gymnasium now, though, so I'll hold this thought for later. Olivia's arms are probably pretty strong. No, Brody, you're not okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what to do about it, but I hope things get better. Olivia's arms are probably really strong from using her wheelchair, plus being a dinosaur. What if she hugged Inko too hard? Crack is what? Oh no. Gym class, where the boys are separated from the men, and where people with Herculean physiques are able to show off their sculpted bodies. I begin to remember how much I dreaded going to PE. The innumerable bad experiences from past schools pale in comparison to the many skidded knees and broken glasses. Hopefully the school's PE is a lot less grueling. As I stand before the wooden double doors leading into the gym, I'm struck with how empty the area looks. That's followed by me catching the sound of physical activity coming from within the gym itself. Shoot, I really am late. Ben's earlier warning echoes in my head like a foreboding spirit. I peer through the small windows on the doors and see the students standing shoulder to shoulder. Towering over them is a primate who I can only guess is our gym teacher with his arms crossed and a scowl on his face. I hope I can get away with being tardy. As I walk into the... My first thought is how lucky I am to be alive. I don't even know what was thrown at me, but it might as well have been a cannonball. I spot the gym teacher, and even through his baseball cap, I can feel his stare of rage pierce my soul. Such intensity, and that ideal throwing form. It only missed by centimeters. That was a warning shot. Know this and know this well, son. I have a policy. Each of my platoons gets one free miss from me a year, and you just spent it. I shift my eyes to the students lined up next to him, and they're so stiff with fear that I can tell what they're feeling. You got 3 seconds to lay it on the front of your squadron. Why in the great name of KV Drocket are you late? Well, He didn't even move. Hint taken, I shut my mouth. The simian scholar starts marching back and forth like a drill sergeant. Hello, Team Fortress 2, man. Poor Olivia's widowed on her wedding. Oh no, death by snoo snoo. Okay, I gotta read this, otherwise I'm not gonna make a lot of progress today. Listen up, because I'm only saying this once. In this class, we operate on tough love. We learn from our mistakes, so you better pray to Raptor Jesus you don't forget them. Because if you do... With 3 monstrous steps, the coach closed the distance of 10 yards to tower over me. I will be very upset. It reflects poorly on all of us, and that is not something I will accept. So I would love to see you maggots succeed, but if you don't, I'll make it unforgettable. Am I understood? I nod my head in fear. Fan-frickin-tastic! Now then, join the rest of your ranks and stiffen up. Once I confirm my bladder is intact, I shuffle over to where my colleagues stand. I feel them staring at me with anger, like I'm responsible for the coach's teaching style. What an appalling first impression to make. I should just quit and start over somewhere else while I still can. The teacher takes a second to glance over us, reminding himself of where he was before I had interrupted. Maggots! You will all drop and give me 20 of the finest push-ups. Those guts best be an ant's fart off that pristine gym floor or else. Twee. With a violently loud blow of his whistle, the coach also takes his position to show the proper technique. I hide my wince as my knees impact roughly on the ground. The real pain starts as I try to keep pace with everyone around me. My biceps and forearms threaten to splinter from the weight of my body and the speed of my jerky movements. I never realized just how badly out of shape that I was. Twee. On your feet, you bipedal slugs! This guy, he ain't human. Some kind of primate, maybe? A close relative? I believe he's a Sasquatch, but that's just my theory. I can feel my muscles hollering in pure agony as I force myself up from the gymnasium floor. By the time I'm back on my feet, my breathing is heavy and coming out in whistles. Now then, since it's only the first day of school, how about we have ourselves a good old game of dodgeball? Did he say dodgeball? Oh yeah, dodgeball time! I shoot a glance towards the overly enthusiastic dino next to me, who is absolutely elated by the prospect of the upcoming game. And I hurt my throat doing the soldier voice, so I need to cough. I am okay. I shoot a glance... Okay. We only finished the warm-up, and my muscles are already screaming. My knees shake, my lungs burn, and I'm so drenched in sweat that I'm sure I might need a shower after this. I really don't want to play dodgeball. Aren't we lucky? First day of school and we get to play a game. I don't do dodgeball. Pink bro! Pink bro! I wonder just how many sapient species live in Snoot World. That's the question, isn't it? Because if the Slug game and the Ahwaddle game and the A Star in Her Eyes game is canon, then, lots of them. Why not? I'm not exactly... Alright, maggots, pick a side and keep the numbers even. This is a suicide match. And free-for-all, too. Damien, why don't you socialize by picking your teammates? Shades, you're on the blue team. Wait, but why are there teams if it's free-for-all? Alright, I'm going with the human dude. Before I can figure out the rules of this dodgeball game, the Diplodocus wraps an arm around my neck and brings me to his side of the field. Oh, and one last thing. His leering tone frees me to the spot. What's the first rule? We only got one. Have fun? Gang up on the weakest one! Wait, what? Twee? In a matter of seconds, the gymnasium becomes a full-blown battleground. I do my best to dodge the oncoming flurry of red rubber spheres coming my way like bullets. I dive to the ground, avoiding the oncoming projectiles as they soar overhead and pelt my comrades. I hear the blows and the guttural groans of those who've already succumbed to the onslaught of inflated orbs. Combat crawling away from the fierce front, I entrench myself along the edge of the field in the hopes of being ignored. I cast my gaze to the rest of my allies and oh god, it's a full rout, so many bodies. So, how's the first day of school treating you, bro? I look up to see the finned dino, the same pink Dilophosaurus who had dragged me to his side of the court, staring down at me and smiling. What do you think? I watch as he casually dodges an incoming ball before throwing his own. Name's Damien, by the way. Inko. Nice to meet you. You too, Chrome Dome, Frills. Who said that you had time to talk? Does my gymnasium look like a debate stage? I mean, maybe if we get some of those stands from the auditorium, maybe. I know a guy's uncle that can make a really classy podium. I look up at Damien with absolute bewilderment. See, I believe that Damien is not actually this dumb and he just does this to mess with people. What is this guy thinking? The coach looks like he's about to explode. Do not play smart with me, son. Keep your trap shut and eyes focused on the enemy. Damien just smiles and gives the coach a thumb up, as if we aren't in the middle of an active war zone. You got it, Mr. Solly. That's Coach Solly to you. And what's the holdup, Shades? You're just making yourself an easy target on the floor. Get up and play to win. Alright, guess it's my time to do something of worth. But I'm not exactly good at dodgeball. Oh, maybe I can do the whole blocking thing for everyone. That should hopefully make it so that everyone isn't peeved at me for wasting the warning shot. But here's where things change. I can totally turn this around. All is equal in the courts. A ball aimlessly rolls on the floor in front of me, calling out to be my ammunition. I somehow weave through 2 shots at me and pick up the ball. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it now. I'm on fire. There's no way I'm losing now. I grab onto the ball and start blocking any shot that so much as crosses our side of the field. Yeah, I'm doing great. Block 1, block 2, block 3. Now I'm really feeling it. Now I'm feeling motivated. I bet everyone's looking at me now. Any thought of playing the game suddenly left my mind like it was never there. Who cares? Doing this is more than enough. I can be the Hey, new guy. A new voice catches my attention, a Crimson Parasaurus. Think fast. What? It's really simple animation, but they do manage to make that impact look pretty painful. There is Godzilla in this universe. They mentioned Godzilla movies being a thing, which means either Godzilla is an actor that plays himself, or he is a man or perhaps some other form of humanoid organism in a dinosaur suit. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Historical. Could also be a historical figure.
Oh, my partner is informing me that in the Snoot Game universe, Godzilla could also be a historical figure, and that could have actually happened. Thank you. The floor is cold. Maybe I shouldn't have come here at all. A pair of extremely dirty sneakers enter my field of view. You gonna get up, Shades? No, I give up. Bonk. Mia wins. Fatality. Oh man, that hurts. How long was I out? I'm laying down on something soft. Where am I? My vision clears, and I sit up from the plastic bed. I love the long-neck dinosaur anatomy chart in the background with the neck and the body in 2 different places, because that's probably how Mia was actually animated. She definitely has 2 character sprites, one for the body and one for the neck. Sure is bright in here. Oh, shit. They broke my sunglasses. Lucky I brought my reserve pair. This is such an old meme. Deal with it. Much better. I stand from the rubber mattress, taking in the tiny room, finally. All alone? Not even a school nurse or anything? Oh, there she is. It looks like she's attending to another student who has his snout stuck in a cone. Wasn't the school nurse confirmed to be the cabbie's wife? I might not be remembering that right. Looking at the clock on the wall, it's already noon. That would explain the pounding headache. Finally awake, Shades? I sit ramrod straight, the fear of God stricken into me once more. Calm yourself, cadet. You ate dirt pretty hard back there. Oh man, yeah. Bonk. Mia or Liz? Liz? Oh, did I say Mia instead of Liz? My mistake. 3-letter names. Wait, you did that. I did. Pelted you right in the back. Do you know why? Because I messed up? Be more specific, kid. Because I couldn't be a good teammate and got hit in the face? Wrong. It was after that. Nothing happened after that. No, you gave up. But I was doing well. You think so? I was blocking the balls and all. You weren't blocking anything. You were showing off. You found a single thing you could do and started dancing around like a clown. You focused on the easy thing and gave up on the real thing. You were so focused that you forgot to look around for a moment. And here you are. I know a defeated man when I see one, and there's no way in hell I'm letting a student of mine give up so easily. The cone of shame. It's the first period of the first day and you're already giving up? Oh, sorry. It's the first period of the first day and you're already giving up? Either way, that's a pretty bad lump you ended up with. You gotta watch around some students, if you know what I mean. I blink a few times and recall the chick that yelled at me to catch, followed by a pounding me in the face. That one, she's, He chuckles to himself a bit. She's something, alright. Yeah, looked like the devil herself. Anyways, take the rest of the day off, kid. What? I'm telling you to go home. The principal gave the okay. I feel my head again, another stab of pain. Am I really not good to go back to class? Wasn't I getting lectured about this just a few moments ago? Well, I don't want to give up so easily. No, you should go home to your folks. He scratches the back of his head, slightly embarrassed. Right, about that. We tried calling them earlier. Couldn't reach them. I give a sad half smile. Yeah, sounds about right. I can make it home fine on my own. He nods. When you get back, don't give up so easily. He holds the door to the nurse's office open. I nod and exit the office, Coach Solly closing the door behind us. Imagine poor Liz being forced to wear a cone of shame. Poor Liz. Aw, man, speaking of the cone of shame, when my cat gets back from the vet, he's gonna need to be wearing one of those for, like, 2 weeks at least, because they're not using stitches. They're using surgical glue, which is water-soluble, which... Eesh. I hope he's okay. His teacher is a Yeti? Yeah, kind of. I think he's a Sasquatch, but he might be a Yeti. Need a fic about Anon in Inko's place, and in it he actually tanked the shots. So going off of that, Inko has the durability of a wet paper towel. Yeah, he probably does. Like, Inko survived 1 head injury and, ODing on lean and cold medicine. Anon survived falling down tons of times and going down a concrete staircase, so Anon is definitely more durable. A brown paper bag is shoved into my arms, along with my backpack. Peeking in, I see something blue and gold wrapped in plastic. If you hadn't been late, you could have changed into those. Thank you, sir. Next time, Shades, think faster. Got it. Yes, sir. Oh, I thought Sasquatch was just, like, the actual technical term. But yeah, I think he's a squatch. His smile is so positively unnerving. Now scram, cadet! Well, this is officially the worst first day I've ever had. As my feet drag along the linoleum floor, I can't help but painfully think of all the failures of the past few hours. No thanks to a very prominent bump on the back of my head. Ow. Gigantolopithecus? Yeah, that's the most likely one. I'm worse than everyone here, both on a creative and physical level. I know I really shouldn't be bothered by it, but I hate seeing just how far behind I am compared to everyone else. And I thought I'd make new friends. What was I thinking? I stop and shake my head a bit. What the heck am I doing sulking like this? It's a bad first day, but it's just the first day. There's still all the rest. I still met Ben and Damien, they're pretty cool. I'm not gonna let my optimism be ruined just because of a bad dodgeball match. Just you wait, St. Hammond. Today was a test run. Tomorrow's the real deal. Morning comes. Solly's brother is Dr. Squatch selling bricks of artisanal soap. Somebody make that into a mod if it isn't already, please. I'm begging you. Most of the characters are extinct animals. I've always had a decent internal clock, but it's a new record for me to get accustomed to a new sleeping schedule in just one day, especially with this fully grown lump on my scalp. I move an arm from my sheets and feel my head. Yeah, that's bruised real good. Could be worse, though. Alright, time to get up. I slump out of bed and yawn, stretching my arms and cracking my spine a bit. My new room is pretty nice. Quite spacious, even with all the sealed boxes. I brush my hand over one of them, the one with my other clothes. I'll get around to opening them at some point. No, you won't. You're gonna be wearing that blue jacket until the winter formal. Right now, though, it's time for breakfast. I shuffle downstairs into the heart of the house. The morning sunbeams shining through the window draw my eyes to look out to the new neighborhood. The driveway is empty. It looks like my parents are already gone for the day. No surprise there, really. It's all they ever focus on. A shiver runs up my spine as my feet step on the icy tiles of the kitchen. My eyes are drawn to some taped-up boxes that are still scattered about on the counters. There's a familiar sticky note on the fridge, and I don't even have to read it to know what it says. Fatima, your father and I have gone to Isla Nublar. Nah, wrong game. At this point, Mom is just wasting paper. The least she could do is reuse the same note and make small addendums to it. I snag a plate from the nearest drawer and open up the freezer. Low-key want to see a non/Inco crash out in a mod or something? It'd be neat to see the two characters interact. No fresh produce to be seen, but there's still the mostly full box of breakfast burritos. Yeah, I've been trying to appreciate ethnic cultures more. Plate loaded with a couple of minuscule flour-wrapped meals, I set them microwaved and wait for the burritos to hopefully not explode or burn inside. Me goes to the store, buys a package of Mission frozen burritos. Aw, hell yeah, this is ethnic culture. While I wait, though, I check my phone. I scan over my newsfeed and check out some of the people I'm subscribed to, hoping there's something to watch during my meal. Unfortunately, nobody posts videos or streams this early in the morning. I guess I'll just watch a suggested video then. Prop my phone up and click on something random. At the ding of the microwave, I retrieve my breakfast, carrying it carefully so I don't burn my hands on the bottom of the plate. I give the first burrito a test bite and... ugh, the inside is still cool. I don't want to stick it back in, though. The tortilla would just become a brick then. I shrug it off, continue chewing, and watch my phone. Top of the morning, folks! My name is Jacksepticeye. By the time the video ends, I've finished the last half-thawed burritos. Pocketing my phone, I slip the plate into the sink and head out for the day. This time, I'm at least getting through the day. Today, survival. Tomorrow, thrival. I'll work on it. On the metro again, I take a little more time to check out my surroundings. The sun shines through the windows across from my normal seat. What dinos are YouTubers? There's this one chick that was there yesterday, probably on her way to work. It's probably a set routine for her at this point. She always does a bit of makeup first and then checks her phone the rest of the way. When the sun shines through the window, it highlights her hair in a really neat way, like a movie poster almost. Oh, hey, it's the big dude. I take a picture, but it might be a little too awkward for me. Also, everything has disappeared. Why is it so dark? How's St. Hammond treating you so far, Mr. Nito? A voice so deep I feel it reverberate in my bones calls from above. I'm taken aback at his authoritative stature. His head is nearly gazing at the top of the passenger car. How did he even get in here? Oh, it's been great so far, Mr. Ferris. He offers out his hand for a handshake, though his palm alone smothers my entire hand. How do you know my name? You're clearly going to school. The nearest one is St. Hammond, and I'm already aware of a new human student, if you don't mind my profiling. Whoa. You got all that just from looking at me? I'm partially joking. Your full name is printed on your backpack. You know that's dangerous, right? Oops. Yep, that's me all right. But please, I know it's only been a few days since the year started, but I'd like to hear your opinion so far. Is this a questionnaire or something? Not exactly, but it's of some importance to an assignment of mine. What does that mean? Oh, what am I being secretive for? I'm here to audit your school, see the teachers, know the students, make sure it's a proper place of learning. I wish it were something worth being secretive about. More often than not, it's just paperwork and office politics. Oh, alright then. My thoughts on the school so far. I considered telling him about a teacher nailing me with a dodgeball to make a point. Nah, I'm over it. Well, the classes that I have are great, and the teachers that I have are a dynamic bunch. He thumbs the inside of his coat pocket for his pen, but decides he doesn't need it yet. I see. Any favorites? I mean, I don't like to have favorites, but all the staff seem pretty lively. Ferris lets out a heavy, rumbling chuckle. That's certainly good to hear. And what of your fellow students? Made any friends? It's been a bit of a struggle, but it's always been that way since my folks move around a lot. I think I'm doing pretty good this time around. Why do you think that is? I think it's the jacket. The jacket? I give my lapel a quick tug for extra style points. The Coastline Cotton Nylon Bomber number 32. Part of the latest catalog by A&F. I see. Does he need to lean so close to inspect it? If the carriage rocks in any way, he'd probably turn me into a piece of modern art against the window. And that's really what the youth are into these days? Hey, the results speak for themselves. Whatever he's thinking about, it's got nothing to do with his work. Inko continues to make inconvenient situations for himself. Yeah. I think I have a pretty good idea on what it could be, though. Mr. Ferris? Do you got no swag? Huh? Well, I guess that probably answers it. I admit to being a little gray. I'm aware I'm not exactly with it anymore. Once I was with it, but then they changed what it was, and now what I'm with isn't it. It'll happen to you. Well, even the older generation can dress to impress. You just have to see what people today like to wear. I'm certainly willing to listen to the youth of today, yes. It is somewhat important to my job to know how the student body thinks. And my niece often suggests dressing more relaxed, whatever that means. Does she ever see you in casual clothes? I'm wearing them now. I can save him. Duolingo is after you. You need to run real quick. Go before the owl finds you. He knows your location. Your GPS is turned on. The rest of the trip was quick, but we continue with small talk about trends. Liz and Damien are the only emotionally well-adjusted students Inko knows. Definitely. When we arrive at my stop, he attempts to give me his business card. For someone whose mere presence could stop a fight, he seems like a genuinely nice fellow. I look forward to talking to him again. Oh god, those burritos were a mistake. My stomach is roiling after the warm-ups. Alright, maggots, today we'll be working on your cardiovascular system. By that I mean a good old-fashioned mile run. I want everyone out on the track field yesterday. I notice Damien's mouth open as soon as Coach Solly yells the words. And no, Damien, that does not mean I want you to invent time travel. Unless, of course, you mean running so fast that you hit 88 miles an hour. And just as quickly, Damien shuts his mouth again and shoots Solly a thumbs up. Why so blue, Star? Well, I mean, if you want to get into VTuber lore, I technically live in the vacuum of space. Solly's only reply is to let out a snort. Double time it now, cupcakes! I don't really have lore thought out, but that's where the character lives. It's not much of a character, it's an avatar, but still. There's no hesitation from me this time. I follow the rest of class and I do the run Solly wanted. As expected, I rapidly fell behind the pack. Hey, Inko, nice of you to drop by. How are you doing? Damien, what are you doing back here? Keeping my new buddy company, of course. What are you doing? Trying not to vomit? You're doing great, then. Thanks, I guess. Shouldn't you be at the very front of the pack, though? Next to Mia? Nah, man, not her. Mia? You know, the one who knocked you out yesterday? A brief flashback reminds me of the red Parasaurus. Ah, her. By the by, glad to see you're doing way better today. You're even up and running. Yeah, glad I didn't wind up with permanent brain damage. Hey, question. Was what happened yesterday normal around here? Well, Mia's a wild one, that's for sure. Are you telling us you're a bloated corpse now or something? Like a Japanese-style zombie? No, I'm a space alien. 5 little happy stars running around. They are running because they are happy stars. I'm not sure that I get that reference. Best not to mess with her, unless you're into those kind of chicks, in which case, be my guest. As for Solly, yeah, he's always like that. You'll get used to it, though. He ain't that bad a guy once he warms up to you. If you say so. Hey, don't worry, man. You're gonna fit right in no time flat. In fact, you should sit with us at lunch. That way we can give you the proper welcome and stuff. Yes, it sure would suck if you ended up with brain damage like me. Wait, what? Oh, it's an object show reference. Okay. Lunch? I mean... Inko, Damien, don't fall behind! Solly's voice snaps me from my mini stupor and makes me realize just how far behind Damien and I had fallen before the rest of the class. You are James Cameron Avatar Alien? I might be related. I don't think so, though. Whoops, better catch up with the others before Solly brings out the punitive measure. Excuse me, the what? You don't want to find out, brother, trust me. What? Come on, dude, let's jet. Before I can say another word, Damien gets behind me and starts pushing me forward, forcing my legs to move faster than they ever should have. I have to struggle not to trip over myself, but somehow I manage to keep the pace that Damien was forcing my whole body to maintain. "5 minutes and 3 more laps later, I fall flat on my ass, and my heart is beating so fast and my lungs are burning so fiercely that every breath feels like sandpaper scraping against my throat. Regardless of that, though, I finished the jog. The first small step towards conquering my physical weakness. Good job, maggots! Keep this up and you'll be soldiers yet! Solly turns to me with a slight grin and shoots me a thumbs up. Okay, that's all for today. Hit the lockers, cupcakes! Damien helps me back up, and I join the rest of the male students as we head back to the locker room. We talk a bit more about our interests and other school matters on the way, Damien filling me in a bit on St. Hammond's history during the 3 years he'd been in attendance. By a bit of luck, our lockers aren't that far apart from one another, but our conversation isn't a real possibility considering all the other ones going on in the relatively cramped locker rooms. There really isn't that much time to chat before the bell rings for our next class switch. I wave goodbye to Damien and I start looking for my next class. Don't forget, lunch with the buds! I nod in reply as I turn around and head down the hall towards my next class. Making my way down the hall, I take notice of the surroundings. Though everything about the school seemed pretty normal, there are some key modifications made to better suit the majority of the student body. Mainly water fountains that settle a good 10 or more feet above me. Overall, nothing crazy special. This next class I'm sort of looking forward to, AP Art Design. The class looks like it's in a studio classroom on the 2nd floor. Part of the school here is built to be both inside and outside, with open ceilings and walls here and there. Since it's also the art wing, the displayed pictures are coated in hydrophobic layers and framed. Although, since it's the start of the year, the halls are freshly cleared, waiting to be filled in as the semester passes. Of course, there's no shortage of drains. This hall in particular is displayed prominently in the school's advertising material, and for good reason. The carefully and expertly built dynamic between the surrounding nature, the school, and even the building materials themselves is nothing less than mystical. Oh shoot, I was so busy watching TV that you forgot about the stream. Also, I look different. Yeah, I'm trying out some different textures on my model for now. I can already feel the creative juices flowing. Soon enough, I'm standing just outside the door to my next class. Much like the school wall outside, it's decorated in various colors and patterns, each corner painted and tagged by different students. Huh. The way he's describing this sounds eerily like one of the art buildings at the college that I used to go to. It even looks kind of like it. I barely step foot inside before the bell rings. Since I was the last one in, all but one of the other seats were taken. It's pretty close to the front. While many of the students look well prepared, some are clearly ready to fall asleep within the next few minutes. And then there's the teacher. He's standing up by the board, waiting for me to finish, looking around and take a seat. Since he isn't urging me to look for a seat, he must be used to new students taking it all in. That must be the art teacher. Somehow he looks young and old at the same time, as though he's dealing with a lot of physical stress. Well, don't want to hold up class for too long. Trying not to take the teacher's hospitality for granted, I take the seat closest to me in the front row. Even with me sitting down, the art teacher still continues to idle, instead of staring at the seated students with a hazy stare. Nobody else seems to be paying attention to him, save for a few people here and there. A few students are whispering something behind me. Where was he yesterday? Hey, I'm not complaining about less work. Oh, did he just get diagnosed yesterday? Yeah, but on the first day? Huh, so in a way it's the teacher's first day as well. So I didn't miss anything in this class. That's pretty cool, actually. Can't wait for the next Snoot fan game to include a saber-tooth baddie. Well, I'm sure people are waiting for that. The teacher slams the front of his desk with both fists, the sound echoing through the room. It's the signal for all auxiliary conversation to cease, and the class obeys. Despite the sudden furniture abuse, the teacher doesn't look agitated. Rather, he's got a massive grin on his face. The phrase, winning smile, comes to mind. Right then. The pale pterodactyl holds up what looks to be a metallic tray on a stick. Good morning, class. Thank you, Raptor Jesus, for me to wear prescription shades. For forcing me. My classmates are all wincing in pain and wiping at their eyes. Wait a minute, the song in the background. Oh, this is like a remix of One Last Favor. Damn. And welcome to AP Art Design. He holds up the stick haphazardly. This is a flash pan. I saw it at an antique store yesterday. I thought it would be a good introduction. It's not important. Worthless, actually. The class winces as the stick is chucked into the garbage bin and shattered. Excuse my absence yesterday. I had matters to take care of elsewhere. My name is Mr. Iadakan. With the blink of an eye, the teacher replaced the sun on a stick with a fancy marker and managed to scrawl his name across the board in the finest show of calligraphy. And I shall be your guide as we explore the expanse of the creative world. Let's not dilly-dally then, shall we? For a teacher, he's very animated. This first week, we shall be going in depth on the history of the fundamentals of art, perhaps a little trial by fire as well, to get your creative juices flowing. There's murmurs from my classmates, though I pay them no mind. I'm sure a lot of us remember when we first met Iadakan. Not the winning smile Roblox, dear God, no. Not sure what that's about, not sure if I want to know. In fact, the prospect of doing some creative work, to create something that I could possibly show off. For a brief moment, I picture my own name on a placard in the hallway outside the principal's office. For now, though, I'd like you to all open your book to page 3. Right, my book... Wait, what book? Wait. Looking around, I see that everyone else has a novel-sized hardcover book opened. Oh. They must have gotten them yesterday. Now then, class, we will be starting with... I hesitantly raise my hand. Mr. Iadakan, sir? I, don't have a book yet. You don't have... How? The substitute passed all of them out yesterday... Oh... His eyes flicker open as a second as he connects some internal dots. The word on the street is that some new kid got concussed so hard he had to leave early. Did the street at least mention that I was doing well before that? Ha! Of course not. You are Mr. Nito, then. Yes, sir. Given the circumstances, I'll let it slide. For now, why don't you share with one of your classmates? After class, I'll write you a note so that you can give to the librarian. Thank you, sir. I kind of regret being so late because the only person I can realistically share with is the person to my side. So, hey... There she is! Wait a minute. Wasn't she the one speeding through the hallway yesterday? Just like back then, I feel her gaze, piercing and cold, as if she's not even seeing me next to her. Would it be okay to share the book? It'll only be for today. Instead of a verbal response, she lets out a defeated low groan, like I just spit in her cereal. She then huddles back over her page. Well, gee, sorry I asked. It's only the first real day. Maybe I won't need it. Olivia, come on, share with him this one time. I already told him I'd personally resolve the issue, so just help me out here. Ugh. She responds by making a show of sighing deeply while rolling her head back and around. Even though this game is nowhere near as comedic as Snoot Game, the dialogue is so witty. Yeah, it seems like they went for something a tiny bit more serious, but still pretty funny, and also they kind of filed off all of the edgy stuff, which I feel like, for me personally, I prefer this one because of that, but I know there's people who Snoot is their first love and will continue to be their first love. Ordinarily, there'd be a groan to go with the gesture, but she remains silent. Her head hangs low in defeat, and she nudges the book a few centimeters closer to me. Thanks? I slide my own desk closer to her, just enough that I can read the page. While our teacher orates the page, as if reading from Death of a Hunter, I follow along while simultaneously trying to capture anything that stands out in my notebook. A lot more difficult than expected, as Mr. Iadican seemed to put emphasis on every word he spoke. I felt like I was just copying the page wholesale. My eyes turned from the book to the girl's notes, and... Skirch, skirch, skirch. Those are some very murderous-looking claws on her fingertips. I hope she never uses them on me in a bad ending. For a split second, I see them retract. She wipes her fingertips on a small hand towel, and... Whoa, the claws extend again into a bright red puddle on her desk. A singular red-colored claw is pressed on her paper for a moment and then quickly tugged and twirled and twisted, leaving behind a bright red cursive sentence on the page. Cool. Those silver irises flick my way once more. What? What you're doing? That looks pretty cool. A hint of red creeps across the girl's cheeks. She looks back at the book and hunches her shoulders as high as she humanly, dinally, can. Huh? She's now leaning over her notes, too, even using the book as extra protection for the pages. I should be focusing on my own notes, yeah. An impossible task now, though, as the colorful calligraphy next to me has piqued my curiosity. The quill talon continues to delicately etch notes onto the page. And it only leaves the page to dip into what looks like a tiny paint palette at the edge of her desk. The claws extend again, and now there's a faint rumbling. Hey. I hadn't meant to get caught up in it. Sorry, I wait for her to give me a name. She doesn't. She simply returns her focus to the book between us. You two? Hey, cool. I wonder what her deal is. In either case, I turn my attention back to class. I hope I can make up for lost time. It's hard to ignore the Gator girl, though. Especially when those icy gray eyes of hers feel like icicles poised to stab through me. Hey, wait a second. Those hand motions. She's not writing anything right now. She's drawing. Well, it's none of my business, but I am rather curious. I make a show of leaning back to yawn. Now I can see it's... Whoa, it's a calligraphic doodle of me. There's no mistaking it, that's my jacket and sunglasses. That's pretty cool. Nobody's ever really drawn me before. Well, there were those others on the first day of school, but that's different. They weren't using their own claws or ink. Aw, man, I can't wait. I gotta ask for a closer look. Hey. Your picture is super cool. Can I see it? She glares me in the eyes, but slowly brings out the sheaf she was doodling on. With the paper more visible, I can just barely make out all the important details. The line work is sharp, each stroke an organic curve that when combined formed what had to be me. It even had my glasses in the negative space of the head. Though, what was with the multiple swervy lines coming out of my drawing's head? Those are stink lines, 'cause you stink. Dude, this is great! She rolls her eyes and starts retracting the page. Can I take a picture of it? A pause. Why? Nobody's ever done something like that for me. I want to remember it. She passes the paper over to me. It's yours. Whoa, really? Thanks. Don't mention it. But don't. Huh. She's nice. After a grueling period made worse by my own anxiety, the bell rings to set us free. Finally, freedom at Just stay for a minute longer, Inko. I get some sideways glances from the other students as they leave, no doubt suspecting that I'm a teacher's pet already. With a few strokes from his pen, Iadakan hands me a note. Just show this to the librarian and she'll hand you your books. On your way now. A quick trip to the library earns me my missing books. I even got a fancy laminated library card. Iadakan's introduction to his class certainly has me excited for photography next. First stop, though, lunch. Can't take pictures on an empty stomach. Between my lackluster breakfast and gym class, I'm starving. Despite my hunger, though, I'm stopped dead in my tracks as I look around the cafeteria for a place to sit. The whole place is overtaken by lawless anarchy. I've never seen a riot this intense. A few students have even crawled halfway up the wall, hanging by the decorative vines. Food flies about everywhere, utilized as ammunition rather than sustenance, and yet the security guard by the door isn't moving. This must be... I shudder to think what would be bad enough to warrant him taking action. Hug counter enabled. Hug counter enabled. What is the green scaly thing next to me and why is it huggable? Alright, I will be keeping track of the hugs from this point onwards. Bless you. I shudder to think what would be bad enough to warrant him taking action. I've never seen anything like this at any of my old schools. The red ink she was using made you think it was blood the first time, making you worry that she was self-harming. I mean, yeah, that is plausible. Especially given Fang. But, red and black and blue are like the most common colors of ink, so I figured it was ink. But more importantly, all the cliques have already formed from the previous day. I missed my chance to sit with anybody. Wait, it's only the second day. Why am I acting as though it's too late for anything? Yo, Nico! I'm shoulder-checked from behind by what feels like an oversized fist or an undersized boulder. If I wasn't already by a wall, I would have either been sent sprawling or made into roadkill. When I turn about, I'm met with Damien's toothy grin. Ow! What? What, already forgot about me? You don't got anywhere to be, right? Yeah, you stuttered. Come on, we're going somewhere. May as well, right? Damien excitedly motions at me to follow through the traffic of students going about the lunchroom. No, it's not blood, it's red ink. She's got like a little painter's palette. You don't think Olivia is comparable to Fang? Well, no, they're completely different characters. They're only similar in, like, I don't know, they both have double X chromosomes. That's about it. They're both artistically inclined. Peering through the crowd, waving me over, and disappearing again like he's out running something. It's a good thing I hadn't gotten my own lunch yet. It'd be dumped on the ground about 3 elbows and a slap ago. Through the clamoring, I hear something about a turf war restarting with the new year and that the Megalodons will continue to rule. Somewhere mixed in is the undeniable sound of a steel chair clattering to the ground. The place is an actual war zone now. How on earth is Damien able to weave through these guys so easily? Eventually, he leads me to the far corner of the room and to his usual lunch table. Hey, you're alive! I think one of my ribs is cracked. That's just the school spirit you're feeling. Ugh. I feel less like a person and more like a well-used punching bag. I finish stretching my wounded back and actually check the table. It's basically empty. There's only one other person here. The Gator girl gives an unamused raised brow. Hey, you? Oh, snap, you know Olivia? Olivia, right, yeah. The one and only. Why didn't you tell me you met already? Because I only sort of did. We're in the same class. Ah, okay, I get it now. Still, that sounds awesome. All my lunch buddies are artists. All? Oh yeah, there's usually a third in our group, but she's out screwing around at school business. She'll probably be back tomorrow. Student council stuff can't take that long, right? What's she need with the student council? Oh, she doesn't need anything with the student council. She's in it. She's the treasurer. The treasurer? Something like that. What do you think, Olivia? Olivia just grunts in reply. She doesn't even bother to look up from her lunch tray. Aren't you an artist too, Damien? Nah, I don't got the patience to sit around for hours like that. So you're not taking advantage of the art programs here. Don't really need them. Home's just real close by. Only other artist here today is Olivia. His arms wave over Olivia as if he was presenting her at an auction or something. This is so sad, but also endearing. He's trying to get her to open up and make friends. For her part, the Gator girl just grunts again. Well, what do you do then, Olivia? Finally, she looks up, turning an indifferent look my way. Did she say something? What was that? The ambient war noises are a bit loud. I can't hear a thing. I'm sorry, I can't hear anything that you're saying over the... Don't sweat it, she's just the real quiet type. I paint! Whoa, hey! Holy hell, her voice sounds so raspy, as if she'd never drunk a drop of water in her life. I guess I hadn't noticed before when she gave those one-syllable responses, but for someone's voice to be strained from a single shout? She furrows her brow and looks back down at her lunch. Oh snap, we've been standing around for a while. He sits back in his own seat and takes a huge bite of the mystery meat steak. What sucks is you're about as introverted as Olivia. Dude, same, honestly. Right, food. After the workout and poor breakfast today, I'm particularly famished now. But... the line. All eyes look to where the lunch line should be. And it's become a full-blown riot. Someone's got a fire extinguisher trying to stop it. Oh, I probably should have waited for you to get yours. Oops. Just with slightly better manners, which has better manners, you or Olivia. I mean, I think I have better manners. I just kind of mind my own business. I'll speak if I'm spoken to, like if I'm at work or something, but otherwise I'm not really trying to socialize or connect with anyone. I'm either at work or at home working on stuff. Damien returns to his steak, rather aggressively. Olivia voraciously devours a whole cow leg. I don't think they meant those kinds of manners. That's like dining etiquette. I think they meant social manners. But who am I to question dino etiquette and the act of using one's foot to anchor the food for tearing? Suddenly, the sound of squeaking rubber draws both of our attention towards Olivia. She's holding onto one of her wheels, having just skidded it across the granite floor. Oh, what's up? She tilts her head back towards the courtyard door behind us. It looks like there's a few vending machines out there. Huh, I guess I'll check them out. I leave the group behind to go try and get lunch. Not a fan of soda and chips for a meal, but it's enough for wartime survival. Hey, this thing accepts credit cards. Handy. I'm feeling like... My favorite color is drywall. Store brand soda. I pick out a few other brands I recognize, enough to tide me over for the rest of the school day. I bend to pick up the bags from the dispenser slot, and... that green chick's looking at me. She notices me gazing at her and hunches over again, hurriedly. What's that all about? Right, making new friends. I buy a few extra sodas for the table. Carrying everything back in both arms, I place them on an empty spot, sliding a can of soda to Damien. He looks at me like I just tossed him a gold bar. Whoa, dude! The Dilo boy's mouth opens wide as he chomps on the bottom of the can, his fangs piercing the thin metal and spraying its contents down his gullet. I toss him over to Olivia as well. She eyes it as though it were booby-trapped before taking a bag of chips. Damien sighs happily as he chucks the shredded remains of his can away. Caffeine ambrosia. What were we talking about before? Olivia's art, right. She's really good, Inky, like you wouldn't believe. Can he at least stick to a nickname? Really? Oh, totally. She's like won awards and stuff. She has? Can I see them? In fact, I could snap some glamour shots for you. No need, dude. I've already got pictures on my phone. No, I mean, hold on. I pick my backpack up from the floor, unzipping it and retrieving my beloved camera from it. I'm actually into photography. The Dino Man reaches for the well-aged DSLR, and on instinct, I swat his hand away. Hey! Sorry, force of habit. What do you think, Olivia? She eyes me up and down with the same furrowed brow. She got a peek. Yeah, she was checking that ass out. Aren't you the guy that ate dirt in gym yesterday? Yup. No. I shoot Damien a quick dirty glance before returning to look at Olivia. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty bad. It wasn't, and how does everyone seem to know about it? Damien looks aside sheepishly. I may have had a hand in spreading the story around. I thought it was funny. Don't worry, though. Everyone has some embarrassing story. One time I got my frills stuck in the bathroom stall. One time there was this one guy who photoshopped into a bunch of pictures with anime girls and it got played at a school assembly. I didn't need to know that. It took him an hour to get out. See, everybody's got something. Olivia pops a chip into her jaws, her face looking out to nowhere as if she's thinking of something. Damien leans close to me. One of his frills extends to hide from Olivia. Dude, I haven't seen her talk this much during lunch since last year. She said 3 things and one of them was a grunt. Why the secrecy? It's like a secret meeting. Those are cool. Uh-huh. But yeah, this is something else. She's really warming up to you. I can tell. He sits back down properly. Honestly, this whole thing is a little creepy. She's probably not a bad person to talk to, but Damien isn't helping any. As eager as I am to make new friends this year, it's definitely not how I thought it would pan out. Maybe it's best that I got through lunch quickly and quietly. At least I have a spot to sit during lunch, not like I'd have any other options. Ah, there you are, Inko. A voice rings out to greet me, which catches our attention. I see a familiar bespectacled face walk over to us with a lunch tray in his hands. Glad to see that you made it to lunch this time. Oh, hey, Ben. I'm guessing you and Inky here have already met? Mm-hmm. Introduced myself after I bumped into him the other day. Speaking of bumps, you should have seen Inky here yesterday. Damien lets out a cackle and slaps me on the back, igniting the gym pains in my body and almost knocking my glasses off. Ben gives a concerned half smile. This must be my eternal torment for the rest of the semester. Yeah, about yesterday. Ben looks down the aisle of chatting students and signals to someone with his head. Standing 10 feet away from us is an imposing-looking dinosaur girl with blonde hair, crimson scales, and sporting a fiery red leather jacket. Ben motions for her to come closer with a soft smile on his face and nod. And she smiles back, though her own is noticeably strained. Okay, I'm here. She slowly makes her way over, and I notice how some of the students begin to quiet down as she passes them by. As she gets closer, her intense presence invades me, and even though we're about the same height, I feel like an ant about to get crushed under her boot. Somewhere in me, a synapse connects her face to me tasting bright red rubber yesterday. I really wish it hadn't. Inko, Mia here has something to say to you. Mia stays silent, but strides the last couple of steps rigidly to stand right in front of me. She sucks in air through her teeth. Sorry. The corner of the girl's lips starts to rise. I didn't mean to knock your lights out. Behind her, I notice Ben wincing. The girl lets out a laugh and lays an arm around my shoulder, her smile growing wide once more. Heat creeps along my face as her muzzle nears my ear, especially when a puff of hot air blows by the lobe. The heat is torn away, though, when I feel her fingers dig roughly into my shoulder and her sharp hiss of a whisper scrapes my eardrum. That ball was me being nice, Baldy. Screw the class over again and I'll fucking end you. Nodding in understanding, Mia pushes away from me with a small cheer. See, all clear now, Benny boy. Mia, that's not quite... Ah, boo, you know how I am. Her eyes flutter as she looks his way. Yes, I know, but... You promised you would be... nicer. I know, and I was. So I'll be seeing you later tonight, Benny. Just like we promised. She waves us off collectively and backs into the crowd, vanishing before either one of us could fully process her words and actions. New avatar? Yeah, hey, random guy. Slightly new avatar. I just kind of adjusted the colors a bit. Ben reminds you of yourself physically, dinosaurness aside. I mean, if I liked ladies, I would probably like Mia. I don't know. She's kind of a bitch, though. It's hard to reconcile, like, not even in a redeemable way either. She's just a bitch 100% from toe to tip. Dude, I think she likes you. Ben sighs. Sorry about that, Inko. I heard earlier about what happened at PE and connected the dots. Thank you. Mia comes off as rough around the edges, but she's actually really sweet. Press Y to doubt. I'll, talk to her about it more later. You and her, huh? Yeah, since the start of high school. The classic jock and nerd pairing. Sounds like you're living the dream. You know it. But yeah, I'm sorry for your first impression of her isn't ideal. Yeah. It's fine. It was just dodgeball. Not like she was looking to do something. Yeah. Damien? Damien looks up from the rest of his meal, having selectively heard his name. Could you not spread rumors around about your fellow classmates? No worries, Nico and I are cool. That still doesn't make it right. Sure, yes sir, yeah. He gives Ben a lazy salute. Ben merely sighs as he places his tray on the table and makes himself comfortable on the seat next to me. The cool sounded wrong. No, you're fine, you're fine. I appreciate the support. There aren't any ideal impressions with her to begin with, yeah. I'm kind of disappointed that they had a falling out or whatever with Mia's creator, because I feel like there's a lot of potential with her character where she's like a theater major, and so she's fake a lot, and like she isn't really being herself at any point, but that never gets addressed or fully examined, so we just don't know. As he settles in, Ben notices my camera, still out on the table. Oh, is this your camera, Inko? Huh? Oh yeah, I was showing it to Damien and Olivia earlier. May I? I feel my instincts kick in for a moment before remembering that Ben also works with a camera. Sure, have a look. I watch as Ben gingerly picks up my camera and gives it a thorough inspection. I must say, as far as standard DSLRs go, yours is of very good quality. It's nothing too special, really, just something that I picked up a while back. Well, you have a good taste in camera models. He hands me back my camera, to which I place it back to my backpack. Thanks. That's cool. I'm paranoid too. With something like that, it'd be easy to get some great shots. Well, I do have a small collection portfolio drive. A portfolio? Aw, man, I only just got mine a month ago. I bet you've got like a dozen pictures to choose from for the New Year's art contest. The what? He missed that announcement. What announcement? The school has an annual art contest at the start of every new year. The winner gets a small cash prize, but the bigger prize is the fact that the winner's piece is submitted for publication in a couple of big-time magazines. Olivia slowly wheeling away from Ben. Subtle. Oh. Oh, wow. That sounds awesome. Of course, that also means a lot of the students plan ahead and work all summer for something to submit. Did you do anything for it, Ben? You know it. Well, good luck. Liz said she turned in the perfect piece yesterday. Okay, now I'm interested. Also, I'm just now noticing the music. There's an acoustic guitar in the background, and it is going ham, but it also sounds really nice. Okay, now I'm interested. Finally a chance to show my real skill at something that I'm good at. Hey, Olivia could help you out. With your shots and her art, you two could totally win. Right, Olivia? Olivia? We all turn our heads to Olivia, only to realize that she's disappeared. When did she leave? Confused, I scan the cafeteria, and my eyes manage to spot her through the crowd of students. She's rolling away towards the cafeteria doors, and quickly. Doesn't sound like ham to you? I just mean, like, they did, like, an arpeggio, and it was a ton of notes all at once. Just like that, I lose sight of her as fast as I had seen her. I turned to look at Damien and Ben. Damien not only looks puzzled, but also disappointed for some reason. Ben, meanwhile, well, he almost looks annoyed that Olivia left. Guess she hasn't changed. So it seems. The venomous sting to his words make me feel like there's more going on than I'm aware of. I decide not to try and pry into it and instead bring the conversation back. Well, I still want to try. You can upload your submission to the school's website. Oh, then I'll need an account. You don't have one? I don't think so. I've been told they'll get me that stuff by the end of the week. Sounds about right. Truthfully, it takes maybe 5 minutes at most to deal with that. Then why the wait? Nobody wants to deal with it. I guess I'll wait then. Ben scratches the side of his head. I think there's someone in Stuco that can help you out, actually. It's the Treasurer's duty day today. So that's where Liz ended up. I don't know any names, so maybe? Huh. I guess I'll get to meet Liz sooner rather than later. I think I'll take care of that before lunch is over then. See you in class, Ben. Sure thing. Later, Damien. Deuces, man. Tell Liz I said hi. I grab some of the leftover snacks from the table and my backpack and head out of the cafeteria. Finally, I can show off my skills, show that I'm just as capable as an artist as anyone here. The computer lab is an offshoot room from our library. As for the library itself, aside from an expected emphasis on anatomy drawing guides and the like, it's pretty standard. Not to brag, but the school I was at for my freshman and junior years had a library with 2 floors. Probably should have read a thing or two with all those resources. Is the symbol on Damien's shirt meant to be anything? I thought it might be a Legend of Zelda thing. Then, maybe a kind of Zaku from Gundam, from Gundam Head, because Olivia's into that anime. I kind of thought that it looked kind of like the Invader Zim logo, but I know that that's not what it is. I'm sure it's something. Somebody probably knows. I'm getting off topic. The computer lab is the focus. The calm tranquility of the library is overtaken by the organized sterility of the lab. 40 standardized sets of computers and monitors line the walls, forming a panopticon around the desk reserved for the teacher in the middle. I remember them being organized differently in elementary school, but for a few years now, I've just been seeing this formation. Sounds to me like someone got caught too many times working on more risque art pieces. The monitors are all turned on, but only one is logged in. Weird, there's nobody here. Damien and Ben said Liz would be here, though. Maybe she's in the bathroom? I'm not one to pry and snoop around, but I'm really pressed for time here. On screen, I see open PDFs and documents. They look finance-related and filled with abbreviations and jargon that I don't understand. Maybe I can figure out how to create my account on my own? What are you doing? Ugh! Haunted High School! I, didn't mean to scare you. Oh, thank Christ, it's just a dino girl with an extremely long neck and not a specter. No, really, what were you doing to the fiscal report I was working on? I didn't do anything. I've been working on that all day. Why did you touch it? I didn't. I only minimized it, I swear. Right, I'm here for a reason. Are you Liz? The Brachiosaurus furiously reopens all her windows and for a while types out some information before acknowledging me again. Fried dib? Excuse me? Damien told me about you. I met Damien, and he said I'd have to wait for you to sort out my login stuff. Damien mentioned me? Oh, you're the guy that got smeared into the ground in gym class yesterday. Yeah, I'm Liz. Whoa. Inko. But yeah, I'm new here, so I need an account. Not a problem at all. Liz sits down and cracks her knuckles as she starts typing away at the keyboard. Alright, I'll see if I can get that done for you. In a flourishing display of spreadsheet software experience, Liz navigates and organizes several documents in seconds. Is it just me, or does Liz look friendlier than she actually is? Well, it's a first impression, and I think mentioning Damien instead of Ben puts her in a better mood because her and Ben don't really know each other all that well, and she definitely has a thing for Damien. The first time I played this, I thought that Ben would be the more logical person to name drop because they're both on the student council together, but knowing what I know now, Damien is the one to mention. I've always had the general idea that there was a lot of shortcuts and commands, but yeesh, she's resourceful. I think she just has some issues with Olivia like everyone else, honestly. Yeah, that's true. So, you're an artist too. Since you want to enter the contest so bad. Oh yeah, I'm a photographer. Yeah? How you liking it so far? Well... Students here usually jump to asking about what they're graduating here for so they can move more easily to form connections and collaborate, so excuse me if I might be going too fast. No, not at all. I'm a bit more at ease now that you just explained it. It's pretty good, although I feel bad about missing most of the first day. It's not a big deal. Guess not. Although, truth be told, I see those paintings framed in the hall by the principal's office, and it does put a bit of rain on my parade. Oh, those. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think it's like that by design, honestly. Something about breaking the students' egos. And then you end up wanting to improve like crazy so you can reach your goals. At least that's what happened to me. I'm planning on going to university and getting degrees in design and business. And that's just the start. I'm also starting to become an apprentice for art dealings, getting the right paintings for the right people. My tutor said I'm impressive enough. I should start enrolling for any and all of the important universities around the country that I'd like. Wow. I mean, I'm also pretty well off myself, but it never occurred to me that I should be this ambitious. Thank you. What about you? I'm gonna be an influencer blogger and be crazy popular. I'm gonna publish a photography magazine. I don't know, but it's gonna be big. Well, it's something. At least more than a lot of people here. What do you mean? Like, half the school may as well just be in daycare. Sorry if that sounds rude. We've got these school programs and even industry professionals coming in for lectures, but it's like some people are just here because their friends happen to be here too. No big plans, it seems. Yeah. Wait, you mean like Damien? Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned it. He's still cool, though, don't get me wrong. I hope me talking about him to you like this doesn't come across as douchey. Just a moment. I need to drink some water. Okay, back. Wrong window. He's definitely the friendly type. He even partnered with me in gym class and dragged me along to sit with him at lunch. Is that so? Yeah, he was really excited about it, too. You never noticed Liz's tail? Oh yeah, I can't tell what shape that's supposed to be. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. But you've seen Olivia. You can probably tell she's a bit... unresponsive. Doesn't really like to talk to anyone. Not even Damien. So you can definitely try to be her friend, but just know that she'll most likely ignore you. You don't like Olivia? What? No, I do. She's fine, I guess. I sit with her during lunch, after all. And I'm sure you'll get along with us just fine. And hey, I do love to see Olivia make a friend. Just don't get too invested in trying to get her to warm up to you. Damien will always be down to hang out, though, and I certainly won't mind. It's just that him and Olivia are nigh inseparable, so if the deal turns you off, then it's not your fault either. There's history to that warning. Inseparable, so they're like girlfriend and boyfriend? No, 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 they just live in the same house. Oh. Damien's also just incredibly patient and outgoing. I envy him. But yeah, he would like nothing more than everyone getting along like best buddies. Unless you're like Damien and you can be pleasant to a brick wall forever, your time is probably better spent elsewhere. Yeah, I think the brick wall in that sentence is a metaphor for Olivia. So, how serious are you about your ambitions? Pretty serious, I think. Liz nods. Something to keep in mind, then. It's a struggle, but like Damien says, we gotta keep trying, right? Liz gives me a half-hearted smile, but she seems sad about something. Anyways, sorry for talking your ear off about private matters. You still want to get that submission turned in? She stops for a second on one tab to scan for something. And got it. She motions her head to the back of the room and the printer as it hums to life. I get up and get the paper. Both my username and password here are strings of numbers. I take a snapshot of the username and password so I won't have to remember it. Thanks. Anyways, you should hurry. Lunch is ending soon. Right, according to the time display on the monitor, I've only got 10 minutes left. I followed the instructions on the printout, finally getting to the student hub of the site, and thankfully, the art contest is displayed prominently across it. Clicking through a couple of links, I finally find the submission instructions. It's simply a matter of putting my entry details as the name of the file and dragging it into the school's shared drive. Plugging in my portable portfolio hard drive, I create a copy of my magnum opus, and then a quick rename, drag it here, and... just in time. I take the extra minute to safely unlock my hard drive and then log off the computer. Looking back to Liz, she's completely wrapped up in her work. I don't think interrupting her is a good idea. Especially after what she said about Olivia and our own time. I opt to simply leave her be, heading out of the room and the library for class. After all, it's time for the class I'd been looking forward to most. This day is certainly turning out better than yesterday. Hope I didn't just jinx it for myself. Alright, I think I'm going to take this moment to pause and take a brief intermission because it's been almost 2 hours and I still haven't upgraded my computer yet, so it's probably overheating. Yeah, it's kind of spicy. Anon Y Mouse and Inko G Nito. We need more names like these. Definitely. I wonder if they ever make a third game that's like a dating sim with a 4chan XP. What are they going to name him? So yeah, I will be back. I'm going to probably schedule a stream for later today, like in an hour or so. I just want to shut my computer down for a bit and let it rest. Dev at Loper. Nam E. Les. Jen E. Eric. Those are all brilliant. You guys should make fan OCs. It's really easy to draw, too, because it's just a bald white guy with no face. But anyway, I'll be back later. Thank you to everybody who showed up, and I will see you then.